Chapter 5 recap. So exciting. First, we have a husband and a wife who sell their land and don't give it all back to the apostles. God is offended. The Holy Ghost is offended and kills both husband and wife in different times. People are in fear of what they see, and yet more are added to the church. So from someone's death to adding to the church, we pass on to healing from the apostles to the point where the high priest, Sadducees and Pharisees catch wind of it and they want to put a stop to it. So they are imprisoned. While they are in prison, an angel comes to them, opens the front door, tells them to go to the temple and to preach. So they do that. And next morning, when the high priests call the apostles to be in front of them, the guards find that they are not there. And they had no way of escaping. And then one of the guards says, I know where they're at. They're at the temple preaching. And they go to the temple. They arrest the apostles. They bring them back to the high priest. And the high priest says, did we not tell you to stop preaching Jesus Christ in that name? And the apostles' answer is great. We follow God's orders, not man's. So that's the sign of knowing and standing by what's important or most important. The Pharisees and Sadducees want to kill him. One of them, a high priest, really well known and valued, says no and gives two examples of men who have tried to stand for something, and when they died, everyone scattered and it just disappeared. So his point was, if it's God's, it'll stand, and if it's man's, it will disappear. The Pharisees and Sadducees call the apostles back in the room, tell them not to preach Jesus Christ to the world, and they beat them. Even though they beat them, the apostles leave happy, celebrating the fact that they were beaten for the cause of Jesus Christ. Now, I don't know how many of you have gotten in a fight before. How many have gotten into bad arguments before? But once you get in a bad argument or you fight or you're beaten, you don't feel like celebrating. You feel defeated, hurt, and depending on what, even kind of alone. At least that's my experience. So they're beaten, they're celebrated as they go out, and they keep preaching Jesus Christ to the world. And 2,000 years later, we're still here. Are you part of the Jesus movement? The real movement. Not the religion, but the faith. I guess it didn't come from man. I guess it came from God.